Hi, this is Brendan from Watto Training, and in this tutorial we take a look at the Heavy Vehicle Competency-Based Assessment for New South Wales. The source of information for this tutorial is www.nsw.gov.au. What is the HVCBA? The main way to get a heavy vehicle licence is to complete a Heavy Vehicle Competency-Based Assessment, known as a HVCBA, with a Transport for New South Wales accredited RTO. RTO stands for Registered Training Organisation. The HVCBA has a training element and an assessment element called the Final Competency Assessment. An accredited Transport for New South Wales assessor will determine your ability to drive a heavy vehicle under a wide range of driving conditions. The HVCBA provides the flexibility for you to choose your own trainer. You can also learn and be assessed in a vehicle of your choice and arrange for your own appointment times with your trainer. The HVCBA may not be available in all areas of New South Wales. In areas where the HVCBA is unavailable, you can take a heavy vehicle driving test with a Service New South Wales testing officer. If you are applying for an MC class licence, you cannot take the heavy vehicle driving test. You must complete the HVCBA. To find a HVCBA provider near you, see Registered Training Organisations RTO. The Heavy Vehicle Driver Handbook is an information resource that helps you understand the rules for heavy vehicles. It also outlines the obligation for heavy vehicle drivers. Before attempting the Heavy Vehicle Knowledge Test, you must read the Heavy Vehicle Driver Handbook, the Road User Handbook, and the Load Restraint Guide. Before you can book your HVCBA, you must pass the Heavy Vehicle Knowledge Test. You only need to attempt one of the Heavy Vehicle Knowledge Tests. Heavy Vehicle Rigid. Take this test if you're applying for a light rigid LR, medium rigid MR, or heavy rigid HR class license. Heavy Vehicle Combination. Take this test if you're applying for heavy combination HC or multi-combination MC class license. To find out about the test and how to practice, see Heavy Vehicle Knowledge Test. Your HVCBA Learner Logbook shows your progress in building the skills you need to upgrade to a heavy vehicle license. You'll need to log your mandatory training and assessment hours to take the final assessment. You must keep your logbook until you've completed all criteria and passed the final competency assessment in your HVCBA. Before applying for the HVCBA, you'll need to go to a service centre in person and provide a completed license application form, provide acceptable proof of identity, pass an eyesight test unless you're exempt, provide a medical assessment report if applying for an MC licence, pass the Heavy Vehicle Knowledge Test, pay the appropriate fee. Once you've completed these requirements, you will be issued with a HVCBA Learner Logbook. Once you have your logbook, you can select an RTO to arrange your training and assessment. You'll also be given the Guide to Heavy Vehicle Competency-Based Assessment publication. The guide outlines the tasks you need to perform to complete the training course and the assessment. You can only be assessed by a Transport accredited RTO assessor. All accredited assessors are licensed driving instructors, so they can train and assess you. To find a list of Transport accredited RTOs, see Registered Training Organisations. You can change assessors at any time, just like you can change driving instructors. Under the HVCBA, you can learn to drive a heavy vehicle either under the supervision of a person with the appropriate class of New South Wales driver licence or with a licensed driving instructor. Once you complete all of their mandatory training and assessment hours, you need to take a Final Competency Assessment. It is a requirement that training and assessment are conducted by different assessors. This means that the assessor who delivers your training course must not be the same assessor who conducts your final competency assessment. Your RTO will organise this. If you are a HV CBA assessor or are interested in becoming accredited as an assessor, see Driving Instructors HV CBA scheme. The Final Competency Assessment is the final practical test you must complete at the end of your HV CBA training. In order to pass the assessment, you must demonstrate the skills you have learned in your HV CBA training and show that you can handle a heavy vehicle safely. Once you pass this assessment, the assessor will submit your results to Transport for New South Wales and keep your logbook. You can then attend a service centre in person to upgrade or obtain your new heavy vehicle licence. When you attend a service centre, you'll need to complete the licence application form, provide acceptable proof of identity, pay the licence fee. For more information, see Guide to Heavy Vehicle Competency-Based Assessment. Vehicle requirements. You can learn and be assessed in your own vehicle, as long as it is registered and roadworthy and the right type of vehicle for the licence class you're applying for. The vehicle you can use for the test must also have lap sash retractable seatbelt fitted to the front passenger seat for the assessor or testing officer. This requirement is not needed for MR or HR buses. Vehicles for HR, HC and MC licence tests must meet these additional minimum requirements. HR. The test vehicle must be at least a 3-axle rigid vehicle with a GVM of more than 15 tonnes, excluding bobtail prime mover. HC. The test vehicle must be at least a 3-axle prime mover with a minimum 2-axle semi-trailer or a heavy rigid vehicle plus trailer over 9 tonnes GVM. MC. The test vehicle must be at least a 3-axle prime mover with an A and B trailer, each with bogie axles. The vehicle must be B-double rated and a minimum of 22 metres in length in B-double configuration. Test vehicles must also be loaded to at least 75% of the maximum mass allowable for the vehicle, except for buses, for whichever is lowest at least 75% of legal mass limit, the gross vehicle mass GVM for rigid vehicles, or the gross combination mass GCM for articulated or heavy trailer combinations. Vehicles that cannot be used for the test or assessment. The following vehicles must not be used for the driving test for HV CBA. Armoured security vehicles, vehicles carrying dangerous goods, vehicles carrying livestock, vehicles displaying traders' number plates, vehicles that are not suitable for safe use, any heavy vehicle fitted with a dual accelerator or a dual steering wheel, buses carrying passengers, special purpose vehicles. Automatic synchromesh condition. If you're assessed in a vehicle with an automatic or synchromesh gearbox, a condition will be added to your license. This means you'll only be allowed to drive vehicles with a similar transmission. To drive a vehicle with a constant mesh gearbox, you'll need to be tested or assessed in that type of vehicle. In-cabin cameras are a requirement for any HVCBA Final Competency Assessment, FCA. Applicants will be filmed when undergoing the FCA. This footage may be reviewed by an RTO. RTOs are required by Transport for New South Wales too. Install a video camera in the cabin of the heavy vehicle to record the start and end of your FCA. Notify you of the beginning and end of your FCA. Thanks for watching. This has been Brendan from Watto Training.